4. Whoa, ooh, Aurelia's Vindicator. I gotta grab it. When you flip it up, it's kind of like an Angel of Serenity. It's basically what it's doing. So I'm just gonna exile X target creatures from the battlefield and cards from graveyard. What's up, deckheads? Welcome back to MTG with me. It's the Gainswalker. Today I'm going to be doing a draft for you. We're going to do Premier Draft Murders at Karlov Manor. Let's get started. Alright, so Rug or Naya, probably really strong. For each X target permanents, create X tokens that are copies of that. That could be useful, but it's got 3X in the CMC. That's really hard to work around. Our rare here is Outrageous Robbery, 2 black X. Target opponent exiles top X cards the library face down. Look at them. Spend mana as any mana cost. Nothing great there. 7 drop 3/3. ETB, distribute 3. Gain life equal to the toughness among those. That's kind of cool. Some life gain for that. Believe it or not, I think I'm going to go with the spider here. 3 drop 1/1. Oof. ETB 2/2. Draw a card, investigate. Those are okay. Alright, here 4 drop 4/4 flying trample enters battlefield. For each player, destroy up to 1 target non-basic land. For each land destroyed, this way its controller search for. Okay, so 4/4 for 4 flying trample is not bad. It's not a vehicle, so that's kind of neat. Galvanize 3 damage, 5 damage if drawn 2 or more cards. So maybe we do like a draw thing. It seems really strong, so maybe. I'm gonna grab the 4/4 for 4 just because the creatures are kind of on the low end. That double strike trample though, if that comes back around, I'm always a fan of that. Oh, No More Lies is good. I like that. Counter target spell unless controller plays 3, so maybe we do like an America thing. That's possible. What do we got down here? 5 drop 4/4 ETB. ETB or turn face up, put X +1/+1 counters on it, where X is the number of other creatures you control. That is actually not bad. I know it's not vanilla, but that could be really good in a draft where there's limited removal. I mean, I'm thinking it's probably a really good move to do. I do like the counter. We're in the first 3 cards here, so it's hard to tell where we're going. I'm gonna grab the counter, just because I like that. Oh, Kylox. This is an interesting one. In standards, probably not gonna be used that well. What is this? Sacrifice Ghost Quarter, destroy target land, search. Oh, okay, it's a reprint. This one is Menace Ward 2 Haste. Whenever it attacks, sacrifice any number of other creatures. Exile the top cards of your library where X is their total power. Cast any instant or sorceries among them without paying their mana cost. So if we have a lot of burn spells, things like that, this could be useful, or maybe a lot of draw. I'm going to grab it just because I was thinking of making a deck around it, and I don't have to use a craft for it. I'm also pretty much out of craft cards from what I used for my standard. So it's one of the downsides of being a free-to-play player. You gotta deal with that. Okay. We got a 4 drop 3/2 flyer, ETB, exile 2 cards from a single graveyard. That could be useful just because collect evidence is using your graveyard. So that might be something that we do. Okay. This is also kind of exile graveyard stuff, but it's a 1/3 on the ground, but it's just eating up your mana. It's not really doing what you want it to. We'll grab that. Pompous Gadabout, 3 drop 4/2. I saw this one. Can't be blocked by creatures that don't have a name. So all those disguised creatures aren't going to be able to do anything to this. But that mechanic doesn't cover like the whole kind of deck. You know what I mean? Or the whole kind of set. So Topiary Panther. Let's grab that. Owner of target spell or non-land permanent puts it on top or bottom of the library. Maybe. Okay, Due Diligence, I like that. +2/+2 Vigilance, and then Enchanted creature gets +2/+2. Okay. Target creature you control other than enchanted creature gets this. Okay, so it's kind of like a double buff you and your opponent. Not sure if I like it. Okay, we'll go with this. Auspicious Arrival. +2/+2, combat trick, investigate. Remember, the number one thing you want to do when you're building a draft is get creatures. And then from your creature list, you're gonna so like 17 creatures and 6 non-creatures, and then have 17 lands. So that's like a basic cutout. Basic format of what you want to do. I really like this dramatic accusation. Fits the theme of the set, and it's also, look at it this way. 3-drop ETB can't the creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. So if they have these really monstrous creatures, then it's not a problem. And then for 2, I can shuffle the enchanted creature into their library. Just hilarious. So that might be, you know, what I do here. The Fae of Flight that I was just hovering over, that actually might have been a really good one to get, just because it gives flying, and flying can be very huge when it comes to getting damage across the board. So might be some oversight there. Burden of Proof, that's pretty good. Enchantment. +2/+2. If it's a detective, otherwise base power 1/1 and can't block detectives. So if I get detectives, that'll be very good. Let's see where we're at with that. How many detectives do I have? I have 1. So that's not that great. I'm going to keep checking here. Check the curve. Let me show you. Check the curve. Make sure that you're actually getting what you want and that, you know, you have the types of what you want to. Search for a basic land. Meh. I'm going to go ahead and start building up that creature base because I noticed that was a bit low. Even though that's not good. I mean, a 5/5 for 5. Okay, vanilla. Sure. And suspect means you give it menace and it can't block, so. Insidious Roots. That one's probably going to be a really good one. In all honesty, Insidious Roots seems like it's going to be very good. Alright, we got another one here. Another rare. Whenever one or more non-token creatures you control die, investigate. Only triggers once a turn, and it's a 2/2 for 2. So, maybe. Oh, Demand Answers. I really like that. Just for the draw. Gearbane. Orangutan. 3-drop, 2/2 reach. ETB, destroy target artifact, sack artifact. If you do, put 2+1/+1 counters on it. I don't know. 2/2 reach is not that good. Not really seeing a lot of good, like lower tier creatures. So I'm gonna have to try to decide where I'm going right now. Normally, if you get a really awesome card, you kind of stick with that and build your theme around it. I'm kind of all over the place here. So 2 rares in here. Analyze the pollen, sack. Additional cost, collect evidence 8. Okay. Instead, search for a creature or land, reveal it, put it in your hand. That's not that great. Center of the Web, 6-drop, 5/4 menace. Okay. I mean, that could be useful. I don't think I'll be going Golgari, though. Ooh, hard-hitting question. That's a good one. It's uncommon. I'm going to grab that over that because I don't think I'm going to be doing Golgari. Culvert, Ambusher enters battlefield or is turned face up. Target creature blocks its turn if able. Maybe. Not amazing here. 4-drop, 3/2. Gadget Tech. The whole turn face up stuff, I don't like it because it's like you're playing a step behind. You're gonna put down a creature for 3 to get. It's a 2/2 with ward 2, I believe. I just don't see it being amazing. Hustle and Bustle, very good card. Ooh, Granite Witness. I'm gonna hope that comes back around. It definitely can make it back around. It's just, I mean, 4-drop, 3/2 Flying Vigilance. I like the Flying Vigilance. Disguise cost is 2, so you could play it. Well, you'd still have to play it turn 3 and then turn 4. Oh, either way, hustle and bustle, definitely the first pick there. Relive the past, that could be a good one. Return up to one target artifact, land, non-aura. From your graveyard to the battlefield, they're 5/5 elementals. So maybe that one. This is very tough because there's just not a lot of creatures. So that could be useful. That pushes us more towards a Naya thing. We'll grab it just because that's a very strong late game. Wow. World Soul Rage, very good one. So many rares that people are passing on here. I think it's because people are more focused on the creatures. Put up to X lands cards from your hand, graveyard onto the battlefield tapped. If I'm discarding cards, that could be very useful. I'm going to grab that one. Forensic Researcher. Untap another target permanent you control. Collect evidence. Tap. I don't like collect evidence to tap. That's a bit much. 4-drop 2/2 ETB that does more. Okay. And this just creates 1/1s when you collect evidence. That one's not that great. 5/5 for 6. Every time it deals damage, investigate. That's not bad. It's also a detective that plays off some of the other stuff that I got. And I've got enough dramatic accusations. I don't need any more of that. Okay, spell can't be countered. Tap 2 target creatures, put stun counters on them. Investigate, maybe. No, here we go. More creature. Yeah, I need some creatures. Here we go. Enters battlefield, mill 3. That's interesting. And it's a creature, so we'll do that. Next one. ETB create. So it's a 3-drop that creates a 1/1 and a 2/2. Sure. 5-drop, 5/4 ETB. Target creature is +2/+0. Oh, I should have got the bubble one. Turn space up, put 4. Whoa, ooh, Aurelia's Vindicator. I gotta grab it. 4-drop 4/2. Now it's not that great. Initially, you can flip it up for its disguise cost, but I'm gonna grab it. Better than all the other cards on there, that's for sure. Okay. Sharp-Eyed Rookie, 2-drop 2/2 Vigilance. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, if its power is greater than Sharp-Eyed Rookie's power or its toughness, put a +1/+1 counter on this. Okay. That's kind of like a evolve, but either way. Okay. Yeah, why not? Creatures 14. I have to still focus on creatures just because I'm behind here. It has hexproof as long as it's my turn. He can get through detectives. Perhaps that's the one to grab. Okay, 2-drop 1/3 reach. No. Alright, we're gonna grab that guy. Okay, and now Doppelgang again. I can make copies of things, but it's not amazing. ETB, search graveyard, hand library for a card named Magnifying Glass or a card named Thinking Cap, put them onto the battlefield. Okay. I don't I don't think that's that great. 4-drop, 3/3 flyer, sure. Close to that in power and toughness, but alright. Next. Probably this guy. Very late game. 17 creatures. Okay, so we have our creatures, but if we're going to get rid of some, we still need to keep selecting creatures. Okay. Repulsive Mutation. X +1/+1 counters target creature control, then counter up to 1 target spell unless control pays. Mana equal to the greatest power among creatures you control. I kind of like it. As far as... Ooh, we got mana ramp right here. Tunnel Tipster. Definitely grabbing that guy. Cryptex. Collect evidence 3, add 1 mana of any color. Sacrifice it, surveil 3, draw 3 cards. Gotta have 5 counters on it. That's a lot of work to get that done. Load some Jetstream, okay. Alright, I like the Rift Burst Hellion because I think that that's just a strong card here. I'm gonna go for the 3 drop. No, we'll go 1 drop, just because I don't have a lot of early game. There we go. Ooh, basic land cycling. That could be useful. I'll go with the 1 drop. Okay. So it looks like we are doing a rug deck from what we have. And the last 2 cards. Hey, Granite Witness. Even though I'm not going to use it. Auspicious Arrival. There we go. Very cool. Now that we've drafted all our cards, we are going to thin it out to just creatures. Then we're going to take from that 17 creatures, 6 non-creature spells that complement them as best we can. And then make sure we've got 17 lands that kind of fits that. Should be good to go. Alright, so since I was kind of all over the board as figuring out what I wanted to, what angle, what colors I wanted to pick for this draft deck, it was everywhere. So once I took out everything except the creatures, you can also kind of gauge how much you have of each color instead of going in and counting all of it based on how many lands it automatically gives you. You can see I'm mainly a Gruul and a little bit of a Naya thing. So if I look up here, which ones do I have that are white versus which ones I have that are blue is kind of what I'm looking at. So if I were to look at it, Cold Case, okay, Granite Witness, okay, Undercover Crocodile, sure, and then Kylox, which is pretty big on casting instants and sorcery spells. So let's take a look at what we have that is non-creature and see, do I really need blue, or should I try to make it a Naya thing? And if you look at this, I've got 3 things that I can add to the Naya scheme for it to kind of be worth it. And it might be, because I've got Aurelia Vindicator here, which is a double white. That being said, it's going to be really tough to try to mix in a double white, a double red, and a double green. There's a couple things I can do to try to mix this around. Making a 4 color is not smart. Unless you have the mana fixing for it, it's not a good idea. So let's think about it. Hustle and Bustle is great early game for something they need to block something I have, and then late game, creatures get +2/+2 trample, and I can turn a creature face up, which is not bad. But the fact that it gives all creatures +2/+2, that could be really good for like a swing win move mid to late game. And technically I could put that in there even if I wasn't using blue, but alright, let's see. The blues could do No More Lies, so counter target spell, and it's exiled if it's countered this way, and I have to pay 3 more for it, so that's something that's very strong. Could help control the game. Dramatic Accusation. Enters battlefield tap enchanted creature. I just like that because it keeps things down. So I'm going to tap it down and I'm going to keep it tapped unless they remove that, which they're not likely to. Alright. Hard-hitting questions, great. some specific removal. World Soul Rage is cool because it does X damage to any target, so I could use that against my opponent, and I get to put lands down from my hand and my graveyard, so if you had multiples of these, playing it over and over is going to help you. Now, if I played it with Kylox, that's actually not going to be good, because it says cast any number of instant sorcery spells without paying their mana cost. So anything that has an X CMC in it like this, that X is considered a 0 until you add mana as you're casting it. So if I were to cast this from anywhere else other than my hand, that's going to be a CMC of 2. You've got the mountain and the forest. X will be 0, and that's not going to help you, because you need X to be something for this to actually do anything. So that wouldn't be helpful. I think I might actually make this Naya and be mainly creature based, and then I'll, as far as my 6 non-creature spells, I could do relive the past, World Soul's Rage, hard hitting question. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6. That's not a great one, but it could work. Let's go ahead and just see what that would be like. Okay, that's not too bad. Now I need to thin the creatures down to 17. So I need to get rid of 2 more creatures. That's a really good late game, 6/7. Glint Weaver, 7-drop, 3/3, reach. I might actually take that out. Well, the +1/+1 counters do help, and it gives you a little bit of life gain. This is basic land cycling, which is awesome. It's not force cycling exactly, but the fact that I could pay 2 and get any one of those other 3, I like that, so I'll keep that. 5-drop, 5/5. I might want to knock this out, or 4-drop, because it looks like I've got a lot of 4-drops. You can see it right here. Okay, so 5-drop. Attacks if it's not suspected, you may suspect it. It's really only helping itself. So let's get him out of there. Person of Interest. This is cool. It's a 4-drop 2/2. It creates another 2/2. So it's just getting you more board presence. It's basically vanilla, but a little bit more spread out. 4/4 flying trample for 4. I like it, but it is very specific, and that can be very tough to play around. ETB for each player, destroy 1 non-basic land for each land. I don't know if that's worth the double red. And I can get rid of that problem right there. There's the 17. So that's not bad. 3.8 is a little high. It's probably high because of those late games. Alright, let's go back and see what we can add in. Relive the Past. That's going to change the late game. It's going to be a 7-drop, but that could be a very, very good late game. Hustle Bustle, there's 3, 4, 5, 6, right there. Okay, so that is the build. Checking out the lands, I've got 5 of each, 1 more on forest, which makes sense because I've got the most double forest out of anything. I do have the 1 double white, but that's Aurelia Vindicator. Definitely worth keeping that in there. The flying lifelink, I like that. It also has, when you flip it up, it's kind of like an Angel of Serenity. It's basically what it's doing. So I'm just going to exile X target creatures from the battlefield and cards from graveyard. The downside is when it leaves the battlefield and it's only got a toughness of 2, those cards go back into the hand. So there's a potential for me pulling stuff out of their graveyard to remove collect evidence possibility, or maybe in like a standard situation, somebody targeting something in a graveyard, but then it just goes to their hand. So that's it's hard to tell if that's going to be really used or not. Ghost Quarters, sacrifice to destroy target land. Its controller may search the library for basic land, put it into the battlefield tab. This could also work for me. Just because I could search for a land. So Ghost Quarters pretty good. Alright, let's go ahead and switch this up. That looks better. And that is going to do it for the build. As always, I do appreciate you. And until next time, deckheads, keep it easy.